Beth, over the weekend, we had another one of those 3-hour Sunday sessions. This one was with Millennial Mike, Dion from Dion Talk, Lumberjack Landlord, and myself. And about 40% of the questions was around how to use trapped equity, how to deploy capital. But we also had a fair amount of questions about kind of lifestyle choices, right? A lot of the people watching my channel are first time investors still growing. But there is a fair amount of us who have been in the game long enough who have grown that are making some other choices. And you have just been through, you shared with us last week, I believe, an event that your husband's been through. It is eye opening. It is traumatic. It is not something we would wish on anyone. We are thankful that he's progressing really, really well. So awesome for that. But that has to give you pause. And I bring this up because you just recently sold one of your rental properties and you made a different choice today than you would have made 5 years ago. And I
Yeah.
thought we should just talk about it because I think it is the right choice
Right.
from where you are.
Yeah. So I'll be the first to say that once you get rolling and you get momentum going in your investment journey, it's addictive to go out there and find and buy the next deal. It is like the biggest rush you can have to like find and like land a great deal. Um, and I feel that's my natural nature to just keep going, 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 but I am 20 plus years into this investing journey, and there's a lot of ups and downs, through those times. And so we bought a house about a year ago that we got. It was one of my favorite deals because it was low. I was seller financing and it was a low interest rate. It was almost nothing down. We bought it below market. It was just a gem.
Mhm.
And then we got to work on it, and it ended up being a bit of a deal where the more you pull the layers of the onion back, like it turned into a bigger, bigger, bigger project. We made it beautiful like we always do. It's practically new construction at this point. And normally what I would do, we're not flippers, is first thing I want to say. We're buy and hold investors. If anything, we do like a burr and or keep it, rent it, whatever. um but every once in a while it's important to just step back and think, hey, because I have in my mind like several properties I could go pursue if I wanted, but
Right.
um sometimes it's okay to pump the brakes a little bit
Yeah.
and make sure that you're solid, because back in the real crash, from 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, those 5 years, it was the people that were overextended and, rolling a little too hard that were the ones that got smacked in that downturn.
For
People
sure.
that were doing too much too fast and overextended, over leveraged. And so you mentioned we had a health crisis where my husband was in an accident a few months ago, total game changer.
Yeah.
Thankfully his crew is amazing and we were able to still finish this project and get it done and sold. But I decided not to do a 1031 exchange. Even like I'm gonna pay the capital
You're gonna pay
gains.
the tax. Yeah.
I'm gonna pay the tax. I know it's like, oh, pay the tax. It's like, yeah, but
Okay.
it helps me feel like my base is a little more solid. Just having that sitting in the bank
Yeah.
feels good. Do I have other reserves? Yes, I do. Would we be fine? Yeah, I'm sure we would. But I feel like purchasing another project right now or
Just
buying
it's just
something,
not the
doing
time. It's just
not the
not the
time.
time.
I'm a commission-based salesperson and I do very well, but I'm not unscathed by this 40% drop or whatever, and
Yeah.
in inventory and transactions. I'm
Yeah.
feeling, thankfully I run a lean machine, so I'm fine with all that, but still it's like it's good every once in a while to just slow your roll, step back, take a look, assess, make sure you got enough.
Yeah.
Because I did not want to get stuck with the tide going out and I'm the one that's got
Yeah.
what do you say, swimming naked or however you say
Yeah.
that.
Swimming
So it's
naked.
like
Yeah. You
I
see
don't
who's
want that to
swimming
be
naked.
me,
Yeah.
so anyway, I decided to
Yeah.
do that. That's really it's not in my nature. And who
Right.
knows, maybe in a couple months I'll find some great thing that we'll decide to do anyway. But
Well, I think again, I mean, you've obviously read my book, One Rental at a Time, but in that book, I highlight, I think at the time I wrote the book, it was 15 years, 2 6-month periods where I pulled back. I'm like, something's changed. One of them was right at the peak where housing started to roll over. I'm like, haven't experienced this, don't know what's going on. Yeah, we're fine because we don't own any houses, thankfully. Um, but we paused for 6 months to figure out what. And then the other one was at the bottom when the hedge funds showed up, right? I was buying properties out of the MLS routinely,
Yeah.
monthly, and then suddenly there was nothing there. I'm like, what's happening? So there are sometimes in your investing career, because you are so active, you just got to take a step back. And I would tell you,
Yeah.
if I went through a health scare like your husband did, I guarantee you there would be a 6 month period where we
Yeah.
would not do anything, just to calibrate our relationship, our life,
Yeah.
to make sure we enjoy some sunrises together. And then, it's not forever. It's just for right
Right.
now. And that's totally okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also I was looking at it's a numbers based thing too. So I looked at it like, well, I could rent this house out and I would get maybe $300 a month positive cash flow. We're in a market where it costs a fortune to buy a house and the rent's kind of, oh, it's okay, but it's not going to really be cash flow heavy. Or I sold it and I made about an 83% return on investment. I made, yeah, so
And
I
you got
made
all the capital back from
I
the
got all the
repairs.
capital back plus 83% more
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was a good deal for that too. So, I'll be talking to my CPA and I'll set aside some money for taxes and then I'm just going to do my best to sleep like a baby, not worry
Yeah.
about any of this
Yeah.
other
Sleep like
stuff.
a baby on a pile of cash. I
I
understand.
know,
I
right?
get it.
Yeah.
Your
So,
pillow's $100 bills. I got it.
I
I
know,
understand.
right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think that's the right strategy. I think, as somebody who was always the next deal for 15 years, I know how it feels to step back. It feels uncomfortable, almost unnatural. But when your internals tell you to do that, which yours clearly did, you have to listen. Don't
Yeah.
force it.
Yeah.
So kudos to you.
And every once in a while I've done that, because it's not like one of us is a W-2 with consistent income or anything like that. It's like, and we learn to live and how to manage a high risk world and a high risk career and everything else, but yeah, I really think the key to that is making sure your foundation is solid. And every once in a while it is okay to just pull back a little bit. But keep in mind, like I'm saying this as somebody who's been taking action consistently for decades, so um, and in the beginning, I had to stretch a little more than maybe I would
Sure.
have, but I've always had reserves. I always felt like you shouldn't be buying. Maybe it's just me. There's other people out there in the internet land that disagree, but I don't think you should be buying real estate if you don't have any money.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to learn how to manage your money and you got to save some money and you got to have funds to go out and buy properties, or I don't think you should be doing it.
No, no,
So,
it's too early. It's not yet. It's not never. It's
mhm,
just not yet. So yeah,
yeah.
I totally agree. I think this is the right strategy, certainly for you and your family. For others in growth mode, right? We were both there, right? We were hard charging for years. There are seasons to this. And when you get in this game for 20 years, like both of us, you can take a season off. It's okay.
Yeah. And then the question for me, like if I was in that mastermind, I'd be asking the three amigos, four Avengers, or whatever. I'd be like, well, when do you switch to the and maybe I don't know, maybe you guys are asking yourself these questions, but when do you go? Because that hustle mode and the grind and all that, it's like it's hard to just be that way, wired that way, and then stop doing that.
Yeah.
But I am getting to a point where it's like, I don't want to do that forever. What do I do? Maybe I have some of
Y-
these same questions that some of these folks had about because we
Yeah.
have a lot of locked in equity. At what point at what point does that not matter anymore? Or at what point do you shift that around for different
Yeah, there was a
returns?
bunch of questions around kind of these were lifestyle questions, right? And we did talk about that a bunch. So we'll do a little bit here. Really, really for all of us, it was knowing your numbers, right? What is your burn rate, your monthly spend, monthly net, whatever you want to call that? Where do you need to get to above that? Is it 1x? Is it 2x? Where are you comfortable? And then what do you want out of the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Right? Because one thing you've clearly seen with Olivia and I is we got to a point where we're more than fine and we sat down.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This financial game, you can keep climbing, right? There are content creators who are talking about being billionaires now,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome for them. I
Yeah.
have zero interest
Right.
in doing anything close to that. So we sat down and chose to reach down and pull people up. That's not to say that we'll be here forever. I could turn 51 or 52 and realize, you know what? I got the fire back. Let's go to 100 million. I don't know. I reserve the right to change that opinion. But for us, it's we got more than enough, and now it's just enjoying. And we don't have a stressful day or a stressful hour. And yeah, that was a big deal for us. And it's a game you never stop playing, right? We'll add units every year. We'll try new things. Like this ADU thing is something I think I'm going to ramp up again just to prove it works. Yeah, but we are not doing anything risky. LTV's way down, cash flow way up. We're not doing anything crazy for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's wise. And there are different seasons to people's investing, and it is okay to rev it up later. You might be, or I might be like 60 and be like, hey, I'm excited about,
Yeah,
I don't know, fill in the blank.
yeah,
So, but it does come to a point where it's about what it does for yourself rather than ego. So I think most people reach that point after a while. It's like when you're starting from zero, and I started from zero. When you're starting
mhm,
from zero, saying you have, I don't know, a $4 million net worth, or, I have X number of doors, or from in my world, like I'm the number one agent and yada, yada, that means something on a
mhm.
superficial level. But then
Right.
if you work and you get there, then you realize like, that isn't really the reward,
I agree.
being better than that other person over there as far as your assets or your net worth or your number of real estate sales or whatever is actually meaningless. That everyone comes to that realization at some point if they get there. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean there aren't rewards to doing that. You do the work that gets you there, and that buys you what's really important, which is not those things. It's your quality of life, and there's the
Yeah.
freedom to live as you choose. And that's what the real, and the ability to be able to help other people on their journey. That's the
Exactly.
important thing. So, and I think, you've clearly seen that, and as have others on your channel. And I think a lot of people out there in this community realize that. So, but just know, like, it's important to have goals and things to strive for, but then keep in mind that the bragging rights really, I don't even keep track anymore, because it's just like,
Oh,
it's meaningless.
yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Mhm.
Beth, you are amazing. Thank you for being here every week. If somebody wanted to buy or sell in King County, or better yet, get a referral to an agent in their market, how would they reach out to you?
Yeah, I'm easy to find at bethtraversogroup.com.
There you go. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.